I'm Dennis Ivers, born 1953.
I'm Morris George Ivers. Sometimes go by either or both names. Born in 1946.
Two brothers?
He's old.
Yeah.
We're brothers. Yep.
Twins?
No, I was the good little kid. He was the mean little big brother. Used to beat me up.
Good thing. The guy turned out if I hadn't kept him in line.
No kidding. How'd this place start out? When did it start? How did it start? Who started it? That kind of stuff.
Well, Dad's dad farmed in Indiana. Had 13 kids. Dad was the youngest kid born on Christmas Day, 13th child.
1921.
1921. They died. 2 died as babies. Everybody else grew up as adults. All grew, I think Dad was about the youngest that died, 72. Maybe Uncle John. But anyway, they all grew up and become adults. And married and all that good stuff. And then anyway, what year? 1936.
6 or 8, somewhere in there.
Dad's dad, which is our Grandpa Ivers, moved to Illinois, just across the river here. Cause
He lost his Indiana ground, right?
he rented everything he had over there. And I guess he lost it. Did he?
I don't think he could raise anything over there. There wasn't any irrigation then. And it's droughty without that. So
where they lived had a stabilizer basically for subsoil, and the house real good ground in that area because they irrigated. But he moved over here to get the better ground.
Or when the irrigation started over there?
Oh,
Good question, huh?
70s maybe.
Maybe early 70. Dale Ivers was one of the first.
Oh,
I
really?
think irrigated over there.
He raised tomatoes.
He was our Uncle John's son. He put one of the first irrigations in, but there used to be a lot of the Ivers family farmed. I think we're the only family left now that farms. But anyway, he come over in 36, I think, and Dad rented his first farm when he was 16, 17 years old in 1938. So that's kind of the reason we say this farm was established in 38.
And we farmed that farm up till just a couple of years ago.
Same farm.
Trade it for a different piece, right?
Yep.
Swapped dirt, yep.
Guy wanted it bad, so he paid an outlandish price for the same acreage, tillable, to replace it, so we swapped.
Better ground, we thought. Still think.
So Grandpa pretty much started when he was 16 in
Yeah.
1938.
38.
Until something happened. So he farmed until
World War II.
World War II.
Which 1941, Dad joined the service, maybe?
42.
Dad was 20 when he joined the
Pearl
military.
Harbor was December of 41.
Okay.
At that time.
Yeah.
And Dad always wondered where he would be when he turned 21. He was crossing the international date line in a ship headed to the South Pacific with the Marine Corps.
He was in a few famous battles,
He
right?
was in a few famous battles.
Peleliu.
Peleliu was the biggest one where they couldn't get him out of the caves and stuff. And that's where Dad started smoking when he was in the military because he didn't think he'd make it home anyway, but by golly, they did.
He was in the Marine Corps. I don't know if we said that or not.
Yep, in the Marines. And then come home, 45 after the war.
Mm-hmm.
Met our mom in Vincennes, got fixed up with one of his nieces to meet our mom.
Uncle Buck's daughter.
Yep. And they got married in,
Is that Burdette?
Mm-hmm. Burdette.
got married March of 17th on St. Patrick's Day.
It was a green ordeal.
Yeah, 19, what year did they get married? 46.
46.
So then they started out, when they started farming, they was in Indiana. Mom and Dad lived in Indiana, and Dad would come over here and farm too.
Huh.
Close to St. Thomas.
Yeah. And the barn that they had is still over there. So they moved over here, I don't know what year, do you?
Yeah, 49.
When he actually moved here to live on this farm.
Is that when he got the cows when he moved over here? Or?
It
Had a few.
started out with 3 heifers.
Grade B. Mm-hmm. Had grade B milk, which meant you milked it.
Bad?
Yeah. It was not, you had to move it into a can, the old milk cans, beat the lid on with a rubber hammer and slide the can in a cooler. Then when he went to grade A, oh gosh, 55, somewhere in there, built a new milk parlor with a pipeline. And then you didn't have the cans anymore. And he had to do that or get out. There was no longer gonna take grade B milk.
Huh.
So,
You helped with that quite a bit, right?
with milking, yeah. When I got old enough, I drove the truck putting up hay and fed the cows and all this when I was little. And then when I was too little to drive, I'd scoot off seat to reach clutch, putting up hay. Then when I got older in high school, it was cutting into my running around at night because I had to milk in the evening, and in the wintertime, driving's always started. So Dad said, if you milk in the mornings, I'll milk at night. I'm going to do that for your car payment. So that's how that worked.
You were good with that, so you could run around then, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want to miss all that. No.
I think Dad always contributed the cows to really getting him going farming. The dairy until,
Sorry.
I think my 13th birthday, 1966. I know that's when he put up his first 3 bins, and the first grain leg he put up with the 3 bins was on my 13th birthday, February 19th, 1966. For sure, I know that date.
When to get rid of the cows?
I'd say 66 or 7.
After I went in the Marine Corps, he said he wasn't going to get up and milk. He'd done that enough.
So you left home and did diesel mechanic in Nashville first,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
In Nashville, Tennessee in 1964 to Nashville Auto Diesel College. It's still there as far as I know.
So he still had the cows while you were down there.
He did. Yep.
And then when you went to the Marine Corps, and what year? You just said it.
It'll be January of 66.
Yeah, and I remember when Morse was gone there, when Dad was still milking some cows. I was old enough to help, but then I started driving tractor when I was 9 and drove a tractor a lot. Any chance I could get, I was on the tractor. But I remember Dad, I'd get on the bus at 7 o'clock in the morning. Dad would already have the cows milked, which was about 23 or 4 cows, I think he milked at that time, and have a load of corn picked before I got on the bus at 7 o'clock. So he got an early start
4 a.m. usually.
every day.
Okay, so you were in the Marine Corps for 2 years?
2 years. Little tour in Vietnam. Seen some different country.
At the DMZ.
Yeah, a little combat.
There's a book about one of the battles you were in, right?
Into the DMZ. I forget the author's name. I did talk to him on the phone.
When he was
About-
doing the book?
No,
Oh, okay.
after. And he was in a different company than me, but we were both up there at the same time. And when I read the book, I found out things about it I didn't know. You know, I only knew where I was, this little spot. I didn't know about the whole general overlook of the whole operation. I just knew we was way outnumbered.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember the Marine's name now. He was a famous general. And they were surrounded, and he said they can't get away this time. got him right where we want him.
I graduated from high school in 1971.
So you've been back by then, right?
We
Yeah.
back.
And you're working on the farm?
Mm-hmm.
So what year did you start working on the farm? Full time, I guess.
68.
68.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're back and you graduate high school.
I graduated high school in 71, went right to farming, didn't go anywhere. I went nowhere in my life.
Well, you moved how far away?
I moved
Mine?
almost a mile away. So that's as far as I've got, it's a mile.
As far as he could go, Dad wouldn't let him use pickup to move anything. He had to carry it.
That's true, since I'd wrecked one of them he had. Anyway, I think when I graduated in 71, we farmed 800 acres. I'm pretty sure of that. 8 or 850.
I remember Raymond Hayes' place put us over 1,000 when we rented it. I don't know what year that was though. Long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know what year we got to 2,000.
I don't either. I do remember.
I remember you guys getting the 5 He bought the Indiana farm
Okay.
in '97.
Dad died in 1994, and I would guess we farmed about 3,000, you think, in 94 or 3,500?
That'd be close.
Somewhere in that area. I'd have to look back at the record books to know for sure. But then we had one hard man helped us a lot there when Dad was still alive, Jared Banks, and he was with us for several years.
He started early '80s, right?
Yeah,
He wasn't that old.
Yeah. He still ain't that old. He just moves that old.
right out of high school. We started
He was
right
in-
out of high school at Allendale.
He was still in high school when he started.
Well, yeah, just a few
Of
weeks.
course, he never went, so.
Yeah, he just went part-time. I remember I asked him when he come and interviewed for a job with Jared. I said, "What kind of grades did you make?" Not very good, he said. Matter of fact, I didn't go a lot. But he turned out to be a real good man, worked really good for us. Dad said, "All that don't matter what kind of grades he made, we'll teach him everything he needs to know."
Well, when Grandpa quit school, 5th grade, 8th grade? Was
Sixth, wasn't it?
sixth?
I think sixth grade.
Yeah, he didn't go, yeah, I think that's about right, sixth grade, yeah. Of course, he went to a little one-room school in Indiana back in his generation. So,
Yeah, back when he did it, they had corn shucking contest, right? He was record holder.
that's right. Dad chucked 213 bushel in one day. We got the paper clipping up there to prove it. And that's the most we know of anybody shucking in a day.
So it was the Indiana record, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if anywhere else. Uncle Buck also holds an Indiana record, and Uncle Ode. It was a corn shucking family.
But they shucked in the hour and 20-minute contest. And I don't know how much they could chuck in that. Dad couldn't keep up with either one of them in that, but he could beat them all day. So we think they did. They did real good in that. And then Dad was the all-day shucker. A 100-bushel shucker was pretty good. Dad shucked 213. And there was several hundred people there to watch in cars and stuff along the road while he did it. I guess the farm just continued to grow from there, and then we both had sons about the same age, and David, George's son, started right out of high school, and
97, maybe?
He's been here 20 years, a little over, so.
it'll be well over 20. Garrett went to 4 years of college, and then he went here. And we had Reese. He graduated from high school in 02,
3.
3.
It's close.
Then went to college for 4 years. Then came back to the farm, so
Yeah, I've been here since '07.
07. So the farm just continues to grow a little bit. Some years we don't pick up any, but not very many years. This year looks like maybe we're not going to. Last year we picked up a pretty good hump. Kind of grow from there every year. Now we hire 2 full-time guys. Another third guy works here part-time hauling and does our grass service.
The biggest change in farming since you started?
Technology.
Technology and size and speed. Now we're picking 5,000 bushel an hour, and Dad had the record at 213 in a day.
Yeah.
So quite a difference.
I remember I bought a 40 acres off an old guy that had a one-row picker, and we were sitting in another farm. He come down and talked to me about it. Had a 4-row picker on a John Deere combine, 4-row header.
105.
Yeah. He said, "Can you pick 1,000 bushel a day with that?" I said, "Yeah."
I don't know what you would pick then.
It's about 4 to 5,000 a day, because I remember telling him 1,000 bushel a row.
Okay.
So, and that was safe. Well, at that time, the hybrids were different then too. They didn't dry down as good. And we had trouble drying corn. We had in-bin stir-alls, and you couldn't pick very much, and they wouldn't handle it. They would break the augers, bend the cross auger. So some days you just had to quit early because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, you think we ought to mention we got married? Not to each other.
Maybe. Maybe we should.
I remember Morse getting married, George. What year?
67,
67 to Joyce.
September 5th, 1967.
Morse also has a daughter, Kelly.
Yes. Kelly Dawn, she was born in 1969, Christmas, almost 15th, December 15th. So got her for a tax deduction all year. And she moved way away, she's a mile and a half. Her dog's over here a lot.
I was wanting to mention there that Morse had a Marine buddy that was supposed to show up and be the best man, he didn't make it. So I ended up being the best man.
Had to have a stand-in.
Yeah, second choice. Then I got married in 1975, 75, yeah, to Julie. Still married to her, she hadn't left me yet. Well, as of this morning, she hadn't,
Haven't been home yet today.
so, yeah.
You guys also have a sister.
Yes,
Tina, what year is she born? She's 9 years younger than me. August of 62. Yeah, August of 62. She come along pretty late.
the house, Dad and Mom built a new house in 61, I think.
Sounds about right. Paid like 20,000 to get it built. Nice 3-bedroom house.
I don't really think it was that much.
I thought it was around there somewhere. Part of it all built.
Yeah,
Still in good shape.
Then we roofed it 15 years ago. Cost more to roof it than it did to build it.
yeah. Well, I pay more for a pickup now than I paid for my house. And it was built in 78. So, things are, inflation is rampant, whether anybody knows it or not. That stuff is really going up and has for the last several years. Ever since we went off that silver base, things is,
And now everything's skyrocketing with the price of grain being up. Phosphate, I was just reading where it's really jumped here in the last month. The chart was going like this and now it went. But we're good for this spring, but not this fall. We'll have to pay higher prices. Then I was just talking to a guy on the phone a while ago. Irrigation went up 2% in January and another 7% yesterday. So it's went up 9% for the irrigation rig since the first of the year.
Everybody wants their slice of the pie.
yes.
Corn, grain goes up, all of our inputs go up, our equipment goes up. Some of the inputs have come back down. Fertilizing chemicals, especially fertilizer, they will migrate back down some. Seed don't seem to go down much, but it may stay flat. Equipment will go up and it'll never come back down.
It goes up every year.
And with this, there's a lot of stuff selling. I was told a month ago they couldn't get any new tractors or new combines for harvest. It's all sold out.
Used to, when we were young, we had time to shoot pool in the afternoon or
In the winter.
in the winter.
And we worked every weekend, Saturday, when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take any Saturdays off any time of the year. Did we? I don't
No.
remember taking any
No.
Saturdays off.
We didn't.
But we do now. Through the winter, we'll take weekends off if we can. In the summer, once in a while, but you got irrigation,
Yeah, the
spraying.
irrigations aren't running.
Yeah, there's no, well, go ahead and say what you want to say.
Well, I probably don't remember by now.
Well, I know what he was gonna say. You don't know what he's gonna say? Well, he was gonna say that we used to have a few days off in the winter time. Now we're not that way. All the grain we got to haul 5 days a week, so always busy. And we've had some really good help the last few years here. I had Corey for 3 years, and he left us yesterday to go on a venture of his own, to be in his own business. So we lost a good man there. We still got Travis, got a new guy gonna start in 2 weeks.
And we got the nursing home help. That's a lot of help. Guys that are retired but come and drive for us, help haul grain. Jerry Scott did it for several years. Gordon Littleton's doing it right now, and that's the kind of help that's really hard to find. Somebody just come and step in for a while, and they're really a boost to us, a good help. And we call them the nursing home help because they're all retired guys. Probably ain't as old as me, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, none of them's as old as George. Yeah.
but then they don't make me work too hard either. I go home early and don't do anything strenuous. So times have changed.
Well, what Grandpa say about farming? He works a lot more. At the end there, he's like, work a lot more hours, but don't work nearly as hard.
Yeah, he said we work a lot more hours than they used to, but we don't do near the hard work. They used to dig with shovels and scoop grain with shovels. But we do have a lot of bin cleaning out. That's kind of hard work. Fortunately, we're old enough, we don't do any of that anymore. But,
Well, Dad talked about working with horses, and you just can't work a horse 8 straight hours. You gotta stop and rest the horse. And he talked about his dad would have a mowing hand scythe to cut weeds. And when the horses are resting, he said, we might as well be mowing that ditch so the horses are resting. So he didn't always get a rest just because the horse did.
Yeah.
then when they got to
Need more
quit,
horses to change them in and out.
Yeah.
they played a lot of baseball. Dad's family were out in the yard, and then later for teams, but they was always playing together. So.
Had enough kids. Have a team.
And you got 13 kids, 5 boys and 6 girls. So
We used to go,
here comes a guy from the manor right now.
Come on in, Gordy. We need more people asking them questions
Yeah,
anyways.
come on. Say hi to the camera. We've been talking about our nursing home, Mel.
yes, this is one of the guys from the
Tim.
nursing home. This is
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah. That's where they recruit now. They go up to the Methodist village and see who's available, and if they can walk and raise their arms, they harm.
That's right.
And Gordy can raise one arm.
Steer.
Actually, the one I had operated on is the one I can raise.
That's the good one, huh?
That's the good one. Yeah.
As long as you steer and press the clutch.
So,
Well, when he gets any older, we'll have to get him an automatic.
yeah.
Me and Gordy was buddies when we was young, running around together. I kept him out of trouble all the time.
Yeah. Kept me out of it.
So we got seed hoppers out here. The whole seed beans in, that was the last thing Dad helped build. Remember him being out there working on those.
Cause
I
we
remember
told-
slapping the surveying thing around. Man, I got in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I planted all
Always
the crops at that time. And Dad told me, said, you're not gonna be able to handle those bags all your life. By golly, he was right.
They did away with bags.
Yeah, yeah. Don't have to worry about
You
that.
can't handle
all the
them
time.
big bags for some reason.
I remember complaining because the seed bags was 50 pounds, as beans instead of 60.
Yeah.
I said, I want 60, so he dumped more. Boy, them older guys, no. I understand now.
So this shop wasn't here when Dad was here. The big machine shed wasn't here.
The office on the old shop wasn't even here. I don't think. I was out there with
That little one might have been.
Yeah, the
Little
little,
one
but not
was,
the
but-
one up in the air.
So
No,
there's been a lot of bins built, a lot of ground added.
the only building left here since I got out of high school is
The house.
the house. It's the only building left.
Is the brood older than the seed shed? Or is the seed shed older than the brood?
Roots over.
Brute's older. That was 75, 78.
78 seems like, but I don't know why that.
It's in the concrete if you want to go get the date.
Yeah.
I don't care that much.
Scott
Ballpark's
helped,
fine.
and he was in the high school that summer.
His brother-in-law, Scott,
Yeah.
not Jerry Scott.
No.
We put up the brute. We built scaffolding on 2 10-wheelers. It's a Quonset hut. Built scaffolding on 2 10-wheelers and drove them along as we built that up. And the hard part was pouring the cement. And we poured it right to specs, and these metal pieces set in a trough, and then you fill that trough with cement when you were done. And we did that. And you're supposed to be able to fill it up with corn. And we did that. And it went blue. Both sides blew out. There was corn everywhere. So they come down with their little boring machine, and the cement must be wrong, and bored samples. Nope, the cement was right. So then they paid for the fixing.
Well, that's good at least.
But I think now they're out of business. They probably paid for too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this blew out twice. We got them sides fixed and the back blew out.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to pour more cement there. And we've got that fixed now, though.
It's not gonna blow out again.
We just don't put any in it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, we put this back end up that high.
Yeah, yeah, it's not gonna, but it might rust out someday and break out. But we haven't put any corn in it for several years now. It would be a job. to do
We're not
that.
going to anymore.
There's a
You know, all the
lot
beans
of
we
junk
got.
in there.
I
We
don't
should
think
talk
so.
about, we used to, years ago, we planted with 12-row planter, we had a anhydrous bar that went on there with that. We put the anhydrous on the same time we planted. And then, done with corn, them off and put on another planter to do skip row beans, so that both ways. We was just trying to make it easier for the guy running the planter.
He's always coming up with these ideas, just make his job easier, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That
We
is.
ended up with 2 12 rows like that eventually, before we went back to 24 row with putting anhydrous on it. I'm gonna show you some of our toys we got lined up around the top of the office here. Kind of goes through the history of the farm. What we've tried to do is get one everything in order, combines and tractors that we've had. So, just keeps a history. What?
We'll be able to see him.
Okay. All right, here is M tractor Dad had with a mounted 2-row picker,
2
2 ME picker, and he would pick it on the ear into the wagon. And that particular unit that he had burn up, and what year would it have burned up? 62,
something like that.
it's in the house, yeah, 62, 64, somewhere in there. Anyway,
Maybe I'll take this.
okay,
I can
then.
get closer.
Then he went to the, and at the same time, he had a pull type combine for combining beans and wheat. When that tractor burned up, he went and bought his first self-propelled combine, which was a 45 John Deere with a 2-row head and a 10-foot grain platform. Then,
Here's your pointer.
And then-
nice pointer.
Then we had a 105 combine right in here, which I can't find a toy, with a 4-row head. And then he went to 30-inch rows and put a 6-row head on. Then when we decided we needed 2 combines, we bought a used 55, like this one, with a 3-row corn head. So we had a 105 and this 55. Then we go into here, we go into like the 4400 combine. We had one of those at the same time that we had the 105, I think. And then we purchased a 7700, which was a lot like this one, but it'd be right in here. Then we went to the 7720, those models. And then to the 9500 John Deere's. And then went to the first rotor, which was a 9750 John Deere. We also had a 9760 and and then we bought another one of these, but we just got one toy. I think this is a 9860 here. We had one of those with a 12-row head. We had 2 of these with 6-row corn heads, probably 20-foot platforms. And then we went to one corn combine with a 12-row head with this model here, the 9860. Then I believe in 2008, we went to case combines, started out with a 8010.
I was in college, they called, I couldn't believe they went red.
Yeah,
So,
we-
I was so
we was
disgusted.
very-
I was raised green, so
We
disgusted.
really just couldn't hardly do it, but we did it. It was not when they had the black tops here, we had the red tops. And so they had a lot of trouble the first year with 8010s. But we didn't have much trouble with ours. It was a good combine. And I think this one down here is a 9120, but we had 8020s, a couple of them that would be in between here. And then this 9120, we had a 9130,
92,
and then a 92. Now we got
230s, 9240s.
Now we got 9240s, 9250s, but they're all similar toys, and so we don't have them up here. So anyway, that's kind of the basic history of the combines. Tractors, I think the first tractor Dad had was an F10.
Bob's Bar,
Is this called an F10, this tractor?
F20.
F20, okay.
There was.
Then Dad had an M, Super M.
Okay.
He got an old Oliver 77 that a landlord sold him. And I remember having a 450 International.
352.
And the 350, we had a 350 right here.
Oh,
Which that's the first tractor I drove a lot when I was 9 years old, was a 350.
It's about that size.
Yep, it was about that size, about right. And then 4010, then a 4020. And then we had a 3020 at one time too. And then this was an first, he went all green here. He never had any John Deere tractors till they got away from the 2-cylinders. Because he did not like the 2-cylinder John Deere, so he was red. Then we was green, had a 45, which is down here. This is an 806 International. We had one of those. We painted the fenders white, put a turbo on it, and dressed it up. It was the same thing as the 1206, but it had an 806 sticker on it. But that was the difference between 1206 and 806 was a turbo and a few other little things. Then in 1973, I believe it was, we bought a 7520. It's the first 4-wheel drive tractor we had. Drive tractor that was around this part of the country we know of. Of course, it had duals. I think Dad paid $23,000 for that 7520. It was in the low 20s. It was not much higher than just a 2-wheel drive tractor at that time. So he went ahead and bought it. Of course, this series in through here, the 4640s, 4630s. We had several of those over the years. This is like a 50 series here. I believe the 50 series had the stack on the side though. This isn't quite right. Instead of on the hood. Then the 8630s, 8640s. We probably had 2 or 3 of those over the years. We had one of these, which the toy isn't very big, but the tractor was big, was an 8850, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had an 8-cylinder motor instead of a 6-cylinder. We had one of those. And then we went to the series over here, 620. That was a pretty big improvement when they went to that tractor. And then at that time, we decided to go with our first case with the quad track, which was not a 535, it was a 500.
Yeah.
What?
There's a cat in there.
Oh yeah. In between here, we had a tractor. This is a 65 Caterpillar tractor. That's the first tractor around here. That's the first one that really came out. We got one the next year when they come out. So there was none of them around this part of the country. That's the first tractor we had. It was a good tractor had 2 track systems instead of 4.
Jared Banks did not like it. He didn't like it one bit.
No, it did ride very rough, and the 2 tracks tears up the ends a lot more than a 4-track type tractor. So first quad track we had was a 500, and we bought it because we'd started farming in Indiana at that time, and these will go across our railroad bridge because they're built narrow enough. And you saw that on videos before.
Saw Travis do it, how easy it was.
Yeah. So we had a 500, maybe 2 535s over the years. And then we went to a front wheel assist. 335, I guess, was the first one we had, a case. These are there's a little 500 right there. We had a 450 row crop case for side dressing. And then they jumped up after we had the 535s, we went to the 620s, which we've got 3 of those now. And over here we had the John Deere road track at the same time as we had 2 of those. And this is just a bigger size of a front wheel assist, this is a 335. let's see, that was a 335, this is 315. Now, we traded him off, went to the John Deere, which is a 335 horse
It
RT.
was 8345.
8345. We recently traded these two tractors off, went to a 380, one of these front wheel assist, and went to a row crop quad, which we're gonna be bringing home Friday, which is a 500 horse, so we can side dress nitrogen with it, plant with it. And this is just a couple more toys of the combines that haven't been taken out of the box. We had this says 8.9, but we actually had a 9.9 New Holland for 2 years. We ran in just beans alongside a 9240 case. This coming year, we're gonna have one 9240 and two 9250s all on tracks. So that's basically the lineup of the equipment we've had over the years.